Help is on the way for Fargo bars and restaurants. City commissioners having to come forward asking for relief now or going into the new year. Valley News team's Katie Upperly joins us in the studio and walks us through what this means for area businesses. Katie?
Mike, Fargo City Commissioner Dave Pepcorn and Tony Garrick asked that the city leaders take action to help bars and restaurants struggling during the pandemic before it's too late. They asked that the 2021 liquor license renewal fees be waived, utility fees forgiven, and property taxes to be forgiven. The commission approved 2 of the 3. City commissioners are fighting to support local bars and restaurants who have been faced with several hurdles during the COVID-19 pandemic and continue to adapt to restrictions that limit their business hours and capacity.
We saw the numbers. We saw people losing their jobs, getting their hours cut dramatically. You know, a server who might make $120 a day is now making $20 a day. So we knew that we needed to help them so they could keep people hired and keep people going.
Under the approved business assistance program, the next 6 months of utility charges would be waived, and bars and restaurants would be given a rebate to cover their food and alcohol license fees for 2021, accounting for roughly $1.1 million in assistance. Commissioner Tony Garrick also proposed forgiving next year's property taxes, but later rescinded it, saying it needs more research. It's complicated and costly.
This is an industry that's being targeted specifically by these mandates and these restrictions, and knowing that we needed to help them, or else we will lose a number of these establishments in Fargo, which is, you know, if there's 450 of them and we lose 10%, that's a lot of jobs.
CEO and president of Fargo Moorhead Convention and Visitors Bureau, Charlie Johnson, says he supports this movement to help bars and restaurants. But it's a fine line to determine who receives assistance, as so many industries are suffering, including hotels, retail, and attractions.
What if the restrictions are so harsh and business is so bad that a bunch of those people who are among our stakeholders don't come out whole on the other end, don't survive? We've already had a few hotels that have closed.
Johnson says he agrees that bars and restaurants need help, saying we need to continue to fight for them as well as other businesses. Garrick says the $1.1 million is not being pulled from taxpayers. The fees are simply not being collected. He goes on to say that this does impact the city's overall budget, but in a small way that will not impact the public. Mike?
All right, thanks, Katie. At the next Fargo City Commission meeting, they're planning to discuss more efforts to help businesses, including suspending utility shutoffs. Meanwhile,